Welcome back, Steam Machines. This is Mr. E from Conducting Music, welcoming you to, unfortunately, one of the very last lessons of the Momocuri project. I hope you had fun so far. Our job, actually my job today, is to guide you around the last level, which I believe we called level 6, and it's where the old lady actually reveals herself to be a very spooky, evil demon. And we're gonna code a new tile map and a little bit of the battle. So please stay with me for a few more minutes and we'll come up with a wonderful game all together. As always, please remember to keep your game tidy and your code even tidier by right-clicking on any empty space of your screen and then click on Collapse first and then Format. What we're looking for today is level 6. Just as a quick reminder, what we left off on the last lesson is a dialogue with well, we don't know if she's a demoness yet, but effectively she is the demoness. And we are trying to escape, or actually to be curious and look through a door. But unfortunately, we're a bit too cheeky and we get caught in the act. And something quite spooky happens. So I'm gonna create a new tile map. I'm gonna place the action outside. We're gonna make the enemy follow us and give ourselves some weapons, some lives, and hopefully we'll be able to defeat her. So I'm gonna borrow the tile map from level 4, it's absolutely fine. But please use this command here, it's the marquee tool. Select all of the tiles. Then go ahead and press Ctrl C or Command C to make a copy of it. And if you're on iPad, you can click on, again, it's a tap and hold on your screen and click on copy. So once you are done, let's collapse level 4 and focus on level 6. The tile map can be found under Scene. We can drag it in, click on it, rename it, level 6. The size, please make sure you match it, 40-40, and then to paste, just Command or Control V for Victor. There are a few tiles, which is what I assume is the leftover of the house. I want to go quite dark. So here you go from original, that was the color. We're going to go from original to adventure, I guess. The characters. So we go to Scene and Place. This is a block that you've already seen quite a few times. So we go to place the old lady on top of one of the horizontal tiles. And instead we place ourselves, UK, on top of the others. So just to give us a little bit of space to run away, okay? Make sure that you go and create a follow for the camera follow UK. In theory, we don't need this particular block because we already used it previously, but just in case, just for good measure, we'll add it. And then we're gonna give us a second or two just to get our bearings, allow the player to just understand, oh my goodness, we are aside, something's happened. And then what's gonna happen is the follow. So the character, the enemy, will start following us, and that's the scary part. So the old lady needs to follow us. Wherever we go, she will start coming at us. Please click on the plus. So I've put 30 pixels a second. What I like to do now is to use the status bars. In case you're not familiar, they are the bars that show up how much energy, mana, hit points you've got, and create one for ourselves, one for the monster. To install the status bars, please go ahead and click on Advanced. Scroll down to the bottom to extensions, and once again towards the bottom you find the status bar. So you see these are the things that are at the top. We're going to create two different ones, one for us and one for the old lady. We work inside level 6. So status bars is here, and I'm going to drag this block twice, or you can make a copy. Why twice? Once because it's ours, so I'm going to call it UK HP. And the other one is going to be Old Lady HP. Here is no longer health, but it should become enemy health. Okay, very important. Make Onibaba a bit more powerful than us because she is the boss. So set status bar, so set Old Lady HP. I'm going to make it 200. Then we can do a little bit of the coloring, which is a lot of fun. This block here, so drag it in twice. UK HP, old lady HP. These are now floating in the air a bit at random, so we need to attach it. And this is quite easy. We can attach it. And once again, bring it in twice. We just match. UK HP is connected to UK, and old lady HP is connected to old lady. Okay, so make sure that you troubleshoot. Padding means that it's a little bit above where we are, and offset is a bit to the left or to the right. I'm gonna put like just a 15. When the enemy touches us, I want the enemy to be respawned in a completely random new tile, so we don't know where they are. So let's go to sprites, grab our overlap. When the boss touches the player, we should place the boss somewhere else. So we go to scene, get the place. And in this case, you need to drag this one, okay? The usual drag and drop for drag and dropping the drag and droppiness. And I suggest using maybe the green grass, so we really don't know where she is. She could be on the opposite side of the screen, okay? I think we should lose a lot of points. So on status bars, we go to change UK HP, because this is our points. These are our points. And I think we should be quite severe here with -25. Remember, guys, use the negative number here, the -25, because if you just put 25, you're going to increase your health, and that's not really fair. So the shooting can be controlled by another button. So let's go to on button A pressed, change it to button B. And if it goes gray like that, that's just because of the previous lesson where we were auditioning sounds. So please go ahead, zoom out, and try to retrieve it. It should be quite straightforward. We open up this, and the shooting is called Projectile. It's a type of sprite, but in this case, it's actually called a projectile. Get the first one because it's shooting from us. Find some space, match this to your character's name, choose one picture. Vx is what we call the horizontal velocity, so the speed left and right. If it's positive, you're going to be shooting from the left to the right. Vy instead is the vertical velocity. At this stage, I would just like you to be able to shoot from left to right, and I'm just going to ask you to change Vx to 50 and Vy to 0. Here you go, 50 and 0. If you've done your test, does everything work? Make sure that you're shooting from UK that's got the Vx equals 50 and the Vy equals 0. Now, something that has not happened yet is destroying the boss, because we need to create an overlap between the projectile and the boss. So let's go ahead and create it now. Guys, we're getting to the very end of the code. So from sprites, let's go and grab our beloved wheel mouse shaped block. And is it the player? No, it's not the player interacting. In this case, it is the projectile which is interacting with the boss. So when the projectile is interacting with the boss, what should happen, and I'm sure you can do it with your eyes closed now, it's a destroy block. The projectile needs to be destroyed. Remember the drag and drop. You can do the usual plus sign with your favorite animation. And then you should be able to take away some energy. So you go to status bar and you change. We should be able to take 4 points every time we hit her. If you want, you can add a sound effect as always. We can get a little crash maybe. And then when we shoot instead, we can add a little zap sound perhaps. Here we go, guys. This is the very last part. The very last concept is called a Boolean. And it's a very easy thing to remember. It just means true or false. So I'm going to show you a piece of code that says, whenever you press button B, before you actually get to shoot, it will say, are you on level 6? If that is true, then you're able to shoot. If that is not true, then no. Okay, to do this, we need to create a variable. Remember a few lessons back, I was discussing a variable as a box. So please head on over to your start. This is the green, light green one. Towards the bottom, or actually at the very bottom, we want to create a variable. Click on it. Please name it shooting. As soon as you type it in, at the bottom, it's going to say set shooting to 0. we want to shoot it to false. Head on over to logic, scroll down all the way to the bottom, and you can grab a false. I know it's not the same shape, but sometimes hexagons go inside ovals. Throughout our game, it will not allow you to shoot. So that means that when we are on level 6, that variable that we just created, so set shooting to, should be true. So let's go to logic, and we go to true. Now, for the last part, let's go head back on over to our button B, find a good spot. We need to create an if statement which says if shooting is on, then you can shoot. If not, nothing happens. So let's try. Logic, if, there we go, check it in. Head on over back to logic and on the comparison, the 0 equals 0. Here we want to put shooting. Here we want to put true. So grab your shooting from variables and grab your true or false from the bottom of logic. If you try and load the game when you press B, you cannot shoot. Nothing is happening. So the very last thing we need to do is when the enemy health goes to 0, we win. And when our health goes to 0, we lose. Let's find an empty space on our canvas. So let's go to status bars. And if you scroll down, you'll find our status bars or kind health 0. If our health goes to 0, unfortunately, we lose. So under a game, we get a game over with your animation of choice. You can make a copy of the whole thing. And when the enemy health goes to 0, we win with a smiles, perhaps. I think UK should just unleash a little bit of a victorious moment. Is something very simple like congratulations. And perhaps another message there. Now, as it happens in every single beautiful game, we're going to have to try and test it and see if everything works. We are in the forest, we go around, and don't forget before you finish to change to 100. At the moment, I just need to collect. Okay, we're back, and I'm going to explore until we find all of the yin-yang stones. Darkness falls. It's cold and dark, but look, a light. So we're inside and the light comes back in. So the little witch goes towards it. And this is where tragedy happens. So what we should do is add a very simple piece of code in the overlap between us and the boss. So let's take a quick look. This is the block that I'm looking for. And I want this to happen only when level 7 is on. In other words, when the if statement that we created checks with the comparison 0 equals 0 if shooting is on. So if shooting is true, then this whole thing can happen. In case you didn't want to redo the whole thing, that's absolutely fine and understandable. Please head on over to button B and it's exactly the same piece of code. Exactly the same piece of code. As always, there's a little bug here and there, which is when the enemy health gets to 0, this one, you should also destroy the enemy. Otherwise, she keeps coming at you. So here we go. You destroy the old lady. That's it. That was the very end of this code. All right, here we go. What's that spooky noise? That is just a storm. Is that a giant axe? That's pretty good pixel art. Come on, guys. Just for chopping wood. Why is it so cold in here? I'll get the firewood. All right. Stay there. So the old lady goes towards the door. And here you can put steps if you like. Toc, 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 toc. All right, but I'm curious. So he's about to open the door, isn't he? I'm just going to respond no here. And you got the 10 knocks. Right, let's go and check it out. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. So I can now shoot. And when I shoot, she loses a little bit of energy. When she touches me, she disappears. But I lost quite a bit. There is one little thing that I didn't notice. You see that my energy bar is the same color as the background, so that's a little bit silly. And we have won! Right guys, I hope you had as much fun as I did in creating this code. We went through a lot of different levels together. I hope you learned a lot. We use science, we use maths, we use music, we use pixel art, we use coding, we use our thinking, our creativity, pretty much everything you can think of. So if you think about it, in this course, which is been designed in the principles of STEAM, we brought together science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And when I say arts, I also mean music, of course, as part of the bigger umbrella. So I hope you enjoyed the time with me and my colleagues. I'll hand it over for one more phenomenal music lesson to show you how to create a compelling battle music to make that minute absolutely epic. And for now, this is all from Mr. E. Thank you very much for joining me on this fabulous adventure. Have a wonderful time, and as always, stay curious. Goodbye, everybody.